Hey,
What up, dude?
hey, everybody. How are you, Chris Newberg?
I'm good, man. I'm super excited to be on the Scots cast.
Yeah, I don't know. People are calling it the Desert Cast.
The Desert cast. I like, how about take your temperature?
Take your temperature. Well, I'll take it now. It's 120.
Jesus.
Yeah. No, thank you for being here, Chris. I specifically asked you to be the first person here, and I did that for selfish reasons and specific reasons.
Okay.
And I can get into some of that. Welcome, everybody. This is the very first show. We finally gotten things sort of hooked up. This is just a temp studio. Thank you to Ron, who is hovering in the background right now, making sure that we don't drop and break everything. Because if anybody that knows me or knows Chris Newberg knows, we are not. This is not our area of expertise as far as like the process behind the scene that makes this part work. So I see Trav is hiding back there. So is Ron. If anything comes up, they will be there. But it's taken a minute to kind of get everything up and going as far as just a temporary thing. And so that's where we're at. For today, I just want to I wanted to kind of give people an update about what's going on, moving out west and trying to get settled here and sort of reasons behind that. I wanted to catch up with you, Chris. I'm really proud of everything you're doing with, is it Hollywood Squares?
Hollywood Squares. I'm on
Hollywood
the
Square.
squares. Yeah.
Yeah. And get some information about that. I've been hit up so much over the last couple of weeks about the presidential debate, which is kind of old news at this point, but seeing the whole world fall apart on Joe Biden is kind of funny. I figured maybe we could talk a little bit about that.
Sure.
But more so, kind of what's been going on as far as the move, being out here, getting settled. I'm kind of a creature of habit. If people ask me to describe myself, I call myself a rolling stone that gathers moss, right? So,
Yeah.
does that make sense to you?
Yeah. A rolled stone.
Yeah, yeah. So I feel like someone like you, a rolling stone, kind of a vagabond in a lot of ways, but I don't go anywhere. I don't do anything, but I still have that mentality. And, the last while that I was in Michigan, I found myself getting deeper and deeper into some sort of a hole that I didn't really see myself coming out of easily.
Okay.
And there were some signs there. And this is, I think of you, Chris, as a good friend, a dear friend. Like if something's really going on, I have no problem calling you, reaching out to you. You're one of the few that will reach out and go, "Hey, is everything okay?"
Right.
Um, and I love that about you. And it's why I thought about you today. You're a genuine, good person, and you care about your friends a lot. I consider you a friend. I've known you for many, many years. And that's specifically why I wanted to have you on. It's almost like a therapy session in a way to,
Sure.
to kind of explain to people what I was going through in Michigan, which what I was finding wasn't very healthy for where I was. I had the studio, I had the house. It was a struggle. Finding the motivation to get up and do a show was becoming more and more difficult for me.
Mm-hmm.
And what really scared me a lot was I was starting to get irritated, if not resentful, of friends, family, and their success.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, fuck you for being happy. You know, fuck you for doing well. Oh, great. Chris Newberg, for lack of a better example. Oh, great. You got another awesome thing going on in your life. Go fuck yourself. And
Thanks.
that's not how I am.
Right.
You know, I don't find like I'm always rooting for my friends. I
Mm-hmm.
I take great pride in the success of my friends, and I brag about my friends. I want them to be more successful than me. I want them to
Mm-hmm.
have a hotter girlfriend and a fucking make more money and I brag about them. I'm proud to call them friends and family. I feel the same way. And I found myself for the first time ever kind of having a different attitude, like and I knew I didn't want to hang out with anybody, even friends. They would say, "Hey, we're coming over," or "Hey, let's go out," and I just didn't want to do it. I didn't want to
Right.
do it, and it started to scare me, honestly. And I was like, I gotta change something. The way I'm doing it isn't working. This isn't working. Um, Michigan winters were depressing me more and more. I don't know if any of that played into your decision to leave that area or if it was strictly entertainment.
I mean, I'm listening to you, brother. This isn't about me. Keep going.
Yeah. No, I don't, this is so, what's so hard about this, because I think people come to a show like mine over the years to hear my take on whatever's going on in the world. Does anybody even give a shit to hear like, oh, wow, welcome to the world. You're struggling with something, or I don't know that that's what they come here to hear and care about. I don't know.
I think that more people want to hear that than you recognize, because offers an it offers an inroad into it offers an inroad into what you're doing, what you're feeling, what they're going through. It gives people the opportunity to connect. Like back in the day, it was television or it was movies, because it was just like this escape. And now, because of the pandemic, because of the lockdown, because of different life situations, how everything is, so many different people are lost and so many different people are feeling the same things,
Yeah.
that when you have someone who's on a mic verbalizing and being like, I was depressed, I was bitter, I was jealous, people are like, yeah, I've been there. So I think more people care than you recognize.
I think you're right, and the reason I say that is because there have been times throughout the years that I've opened up about stuff that I've gone through, and the response in those moments has been quite overwhelming, honestly.
Sure.
It's been super supportive. People, telling me their story, how much even a dumb show like this has helped them,
Right.
or their spouse has reached out to me and said, oh my God, as crazy as it sounds, your show means the world to my husband, or stuff like that. But, so I know people care on some level. And Mike, up your gain a bit.
Oh, also, I just want to interject. I just want to interrupt, since we're doing it right now.
Yeah.
Before I got on the pod with you,
Yeah.
I cut up all these peppers, these like red, green, yellow, and then chili peppers and habanero peppers. And even though I've washed my hands 6 times, they like seep into your skin.
Sure.
So my eyes are itchy, and I just
They look itchy.
Because it's because of the peppers, but I can't touch my face or else my eyes will explode. So that's why I keep.
Honestly, Chris, they already look like they're exploding a little bit.
Yeah, they are a little bit, and it's kind of crazy.
Do you like super hot foods like that?
I got into them because they're healthy, they're good for you, and I started doing meal prep, and like I do this. I'm just going to tell you before we get into the dirt, but like I make like a Greek pepper salad.
Okay.
And I put like Kamal olives, red, green, yellow, orange pepper, cucumber, feta, and then I put habanero and yellow chili peppers and red chili peppers, and I also put in lentils and kidney beans, and I mix it all up, and it's phenomenal, and it's so spicy, but it's just good. I mean, all the things have good health components, the low sodium. Just trying to eat better, and so and I do meal prep, but right now my eyes are so itchy and I can't itch them, and it's really funny. So all right,
for you, that's all right.
All right, just want everybody to know.
I'm glad to hear you're eating well and prepping. And it's one of the things I thought was important about coming out here.
Yeah.
Was to change another bit of that narrative or that I was going through, where it's like, eating like shit and continuing to feel like shit, like, and not doing anything to change it. I'm not, and I felt like the more I was sitting alone in that house, I wasn't fixing the problem, and
Right.
I know what that's like, to just like, oh, it's easy. It's easier to go to In-N-Out Burger than it is to prep a meal. But I think my depression was so high that it was just like, oh, fuck it. I don't care. Just go through the drive-through. Who cares? Maybe you'll be lucky and not wake up tomorrow.
I've never thought that.
Yeah.
I've never. But do you know what it is that you want to do?
Well, while I've been here, so I've been in Arizona for just a couple weeks, but when I got here, and it was just like moving, and for people that don't know, I guess most people that listen know, I spent the last 5 months in Michigan renovating a house.
Mm-hmm.
So I have had
Did you sell it?
It's up for sale now.
Okay.
I have had constant chaos in my world for months and months and months. And then I come here, and G and Amanda, the warden, are in the middle of, like, their house is in complete chaos because we were moving into a new house in Arizona. So their house, I'm used to seeing, is clean and crisp, and it's like, okay, that's healthier. I need that around me, where people care about what it looks like. And it's a shit show. It's an absolute shit show. Shit everywhere. It's dirty because they're packing and they're getting ready to move. And then we come to this new place, and it's like so much needs to be done right away, from, instant stuff you can do to spruce up a place. Like, we need a new sink here. This needs paint. This needs new wall switches. Like dumb shit like that. And to, unpacking 2 lives, 1 family and then me, into a new place and figure out where everything's going to go. Oh, and then we need to get a studio up and running. And it's just been chaos. And I do not operate well in chaos. And I'm finding that to be really difficult. I don't remember what the question was anymore. But so first off,
the question was very simply, what do you want?
Well, okay, yeah. So through that process, thank you for remembering that. Through that process, I found myself getting more and more depressed. I'm here, like Marshall's here, which is great, and G's here, and Amanda, and we're all kind of doing our thing. But I don't have anything.
Who are those people? Who's G?
Greg is my brother. G is G Money.
He's G.
G is my brother.
Okay.
The warden is his wife, Amanda, and I call her the warden for her behavior during COVID.
Okay.
She turned into a lockdown warden.
Got it. And then Marshall is their child?
Marshall is my nephew. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm on the same page.
Yeah. So while we were going through this, I found myself going like, oh shit, maybe I made a colossal mistake. I find myself equally as depressed, if not worse. Now I'm going to bed every night and waking up every morning going, okay, what's the highest mountain in Arizona I can drive to and jump off of? Like those kind of thoughts, like every night. It's horrible. And then I talked to AA Ron. Sorry, they're giving me direction.
Hey, I get it.
Behind the scenes. I talked to AA Ron, and I just kind of dove into getting this temp studio up between Trav and Aaron. And what I found was just doing this for an hour, totally off. No one's hearing it except Aaron and Travis. Just doing that, where it's like, okay, we're making sure the camera's working. Okay, we're making sure the echo's gone. How does the video look? Is the camera set up right? Is the microphone working? All the behind the scenes? Even doing that for an hour changed my entire daily outlook. That simple thing where it's like focused on me and what I do, and getting one step closer to being able to have this day sitting here talking to Chris Newberg. Even that little bit of work, if you will, made my whole outlook change for the day. And so it was like, okay, this is what you're meant to be doing. And if I had all the money in the world, if I had unlimited money and just could sit poolside all day, I would go insane. I wouldn't be able to do that. Like it showed me like, no, you need to be doing this. This is what you like doing. This is where you have fun. You like communicating with people like this, and that's it. So, Jesus Christ. Am I getting more gain, or am I just turning shit up for no reason? Or am I they keep telling me more gain. It's an SM7, needs heat. Okay. The amount of money that has to be spent on the back end just to get this fucking microphone up and running with good quality. So sorry, dude, there's an instant chat. This is day one. So
that's okay.
Bear with me, Chris Newberg.
No apology. Listen, I understand the people you're working with.
Yeah.
I know
people. They're the best.
My favorite part of Trav is that it is just like, he's the most baller when it comes to sound, and he's like knows all of his shit. But I'm assuming he's in the private chat as no one important.
He's literally the most important person.
It's such a Trav thing.
Trav is funny because Trav lives in a world where shit is done the way it's supposed to be done, and it's very like scheduled out. And if you know anything about entertainers, we don't do things like that. We're very much now. Some of us do, and obviously, if you have gigs planned at a certain date and time, that is fine. But most of us kind of roll by the seat of our pants. Like, hey, you want to do a show today? Okay, cool. I'll call you in an hour.
Sure.
And if you're available, great. And if not, it's no big deal. We don't lose sleep over it.
Right.
People like Trav flip the fuck out when it's like, hey, dude, can you pop on for 5 seconds? Blah blah blah. It's like, wow, why didn't you call me 2 months ago? We could have scheduled this. That he's kind of that dude.
Yeah.
Which I'm never going to be that for him. I'm never going to be able to give him way advanced notice. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, but that's the dynamic of your relationship. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
He enjoyed. You are a challenge for him.
Yes.
You are the Cheetos on his boat.
Yes.
He's like, how do I not spill these?
No, I'm the guy that wears flip flops onto his boat. He has a conniption. Remember that?
Yeah, I don't.
Do you hear my voice, by the way? Do you hear?
I hear you perfect. Yeah, I hear perfect.
No, I mean, does it sound different to you?
You sound like you're coming down with a cold.
Yeah, I have a paralyzed vocal cord.
Oh, that's fun.
And they were worried. You know, it could be the worst. Could be cancer, something like that. You know, and so I went in and had, because I didn't know what it was, but it was all fucked up. So I went into a specialist in Michigan right before I left.
Mm-hmm.
And they did all this video, and like, I've got no falsetto. I can't do a falsetto range. Some of the voices I used to do are really hard. And so they showed me like one vocal cord is moving great, and the other one's it's not cancer or anything like that. So they were able to rule that out, which is great. But
next time, lead with it's not cancer. Don't keep that fifth.
But it could get ugly sooner than later, because I when I'm nervous, I smoke, and it's one of the worst things I can do. And my brother's gonna fucking kill me if I don't stop. That was the plan. I come out here. That's one of the things. I quit, and I'm going to just start wearing a patch again and be done for good, because I've got to give this 4 months rest or so, and then go back out to Michigan and see if there's been any improvement. If not, I have to have surgery on that, and then you can't speak for like months, weeks.
Well, the goal is, I mean, I just touched my fucking face.
You're gonna burn.
I'm gonna burn. No, the goal is to get it fixed. That's the main thing. It's like, stop looking at short-term fixes for things. Stop doing that. You're not 21 anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're 100.
I'm not looking at short-term fixes, but it's like, and when I talked to the doctor/surgeon about it, he was like, no, I mean no talking at all. Not like good morning, and then you don't talk to it, like nothing. And I'm like, is that even possible for human beings to do? To literally not say a word for weeks on end?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what I would do with that. I mean,
yeah,
I guess I'd be okay with it. I mean, I would draw. I would figure out a different way to communicate. I mean, I don't know. I know. I get it. You can't talk. You can't make any sounds. You can't do anything. Be
can't
horrifying.
Go on stage. Can't do this.
I could be fine not going on stage. I'd be super okay with that.
I bet you would for a little bit. You've done it before.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think one of the hardest things I ever had to do in my entire life, Mike, was figure out how to be happy, figure out what that meant for myself.
Oh, tell me the key.
You just do what you want to do. Be okay with yourself. Stay in the moment versus thinking about all this weird external bullshit that's not even real. I mean, like, we have all of these different illusions in our brain of things that are important that aren't, and all these things that we think we have control of that we don't. And I mean, it's as simple as, like, it's as for agreemency as you can possibly get, you know, with I think it's always do your best, be impeccable with your word. And the other two, I don't know, they're on my wall, but it's just like never assume, and the fourth one, and it's just like I don't remember, but I do remember, and I'm not trying to be an idiot. There's just like a giant light in front of me. Wait, hold on. It's what is it? Always do your best, never take anything personally, don't make assumptions, and be impeccable with your word. Yeah. So it's like, it's pretty simple, and I'm not saying that that's the key to life, but I was miserable. I was trying to do everything. I was trying to be like, I have only control of my creativity. I have only the ability to do what I do and put out what I put out when I put it out. the pressures of social media, the pressures of all of these external components for different things are bananas. Like they're mind boggling. As an example of today and yesterday. So my special comes out 2 years ago. 2 years ago it comes out. I'm promoting, I'm paying, I'm doing all this stuff. It peaks at 15,000 views. 1 year later, they clip just the musical part. That gets 300,000 views. And I'm like, okay, but every single person who was looking at it was like, this is great. I'd love to watch the full special, but it's not connected to the full special because the people who produced it connected it back to them so they can see more things. So it doesn't get an opportunity. And then everyone was like, well, obviously your music is the only thing that's worthwhile. And yesterday they released 2 clips that are over 100,000 views and it's the same thing from 2 years ago. And they're like, wow, this guy's great. How do we see a special? And it's like, there's no control over that. So I would get
Were you
mad
aware
at
of that going in though? Were you aware that that's how it works? Or
No.
because I think we get caught up in the, like, if you're a big time comic, you're Bill Burr, a special comes out on Netflix and it gets 30 million views in a week.
Less gain,
Like that's,
Mike.
huh?
Less gain, Mike.
Less gain, yeah. Sorry, folks, if you're wondering what's going on, there's a side panel over here that I'm seeing, and these guys are doing all kinds of mic adjustments. more gain, less gain on my microphone. So I apologize for that. But there's a whole industry of the majority of comics who are not Bill Burr, and probably know that reality you're talking about right now, where try to make sense of why something sits for 2 years and then a small clip blows up.
Look at Landau. He's been funny forever. He's been funny forever. And I think there's no one would argue. It's safe to say within the last year and a half, he's kind of taken off. He's been doing the same fucking thing. He just got momentum. And I'm sure
he's going to be on next week, by the way, next week.
Tell him I said hello.
I will.
He's having momentum that he could have never planned on, but he just kept doing it. And it's the same thing. I kept doing it. I just decided to be comfortable with what I'm comfortable with. I wake up in the morning. I do yoga. I go for my walk. I stretch. I go at my own pace. I decide what I want to do. I'm fucking 54, and it's just like I read something a couple years ago, and it was like, well, if you're in your 50s, realistically, you've got anywhere between 20 and 30 summers left. And I was like, holy fuck, that's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And instead of sitting around going, oh man, that sucks, that's a long time. And so I'm going to enjoy it as much as I possibly can. And I feel for you when you're talking about, I would think like, what's the highest mountain I could jump off of? I've absolutely had those thoughts, but that was just me not focusing on the reality of the situation, which is you're in an amazing situation. You can do whatever you want. You're starting over. You've run away from home for the first fucking time in your life. And you can never, ever figure out who you are until you run away from home and you're gone. Now it's just me. Here we go. Hey, everybody. Hope you're enjoying the show. I'm Mike Walters. He's back.
Hey, buddy. Fuck.
I'm just saying, that's okay. No, I was just saying, it's like you're running away from home for the first time in your life. You'll never be able to figure out who you are, whether or not you want to go home again, where your home's going to be.
Right.
Until you do that. And it took you the courage to fucking leave, because Detroit was your personality for so long. Yeah. It was everything about you. Your show, the Detroit cast, the WRIF, Mike from Detroit, and it's like all that stuff. I've listened. Look at me. I'm the same dude. I mean, it's just like, but I decided, okay, I've done that.
Well, it's I totally agree. I know what you're saying. Part of me feels like a failure. Like if you were good enough or hardworking enough, you wouldn't have had any issues to deal with in Michigan. You could have, figured out your own mental health. But, I was putting myself in a situation where I had a big house and a lot of responsibility and it's very expensive to keep up 3,600 square feet, whatever the hell that house was. And
sure.
Like it's just a lot. And when you're not feeling good and you're not in a good mental space, it's easy to just let that go or let other people do it. I put too much pressure on Troy or anybody else that was there. because I just didn't give a fuck. I didn't care. And that's what it was like. Okay, you're getting older and, but I still have, selfishly, I've lived my own existence for many years, and I've kind of lived a Peter Pan existence where I don't have the responsibility of some bitchy wife or kids. And so I selfishly think about myself always. It's like, okay, what am I doing today? Coming out here, it's already hitting me like, holy shit, someone's asking me to go to the store for them. No one asked me to go to the store for them. Like, and I'm trying to just go, okay, yes, I can go to the store and grab a gallon of milk so your kid can have cereal. No problem. I can do that. And I know that sounds tiny and small and stupid, but it's, it's new to me.
But it's wonderful. Why do you want to do the same shit over and over again?
Well, that's why I left, because I didn't.
Yeah. That's the best part about it. You're doing things that you haven't been used to doing for an opportunity to grow. And what you said a few minutes ago was so fucking stupid. I wanted to drive to Arizona and smack you. What? You were like, oh, if I wouldn't have failed, if I would have been work harder and I wouldn't have failed, then I would have. It's like, you can't succeed if you don't fucking fail. Have you not seen a Rocky poster? Like, Jesus Christ. I mean,
no, I know what you mean, but I also know that it's for lack of, like, if I gave something my all, if I went out balls to the wall, like I think you do, honestly, I think you're one of the hardest working guys I know. If I were like that and then failed, like, that's fine. It's incredible the amount of success that I have had without giving it 110%.
Sure, you've been very fortunate, but you've also been very talented, and you put the two together.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't feel like that about myself, but I appreciate you saying that. I really do.
But also, like, in addition to that, like, you were lucky enough to experience lightning striking at WRF for however many years that was. That was probably 17. 17 years. Are you fucking kidding? How could you not have a come down from that even for years?
Yeah.
Totally. It's like you guys were the Beatles. Dudes in cars jerked off to you guys in the morning. Like, they were so excited, like, oh shit, and it's like, that was the biggest deal in the world. And of course, you have to figure how to move on. Drew moved on in his own way by sitting in his basement and doing his thing and creating a podcast network or whatever. And it's taken you a little bit longer to get in the groove. But I think moving to Arizona is definitely the first step, and you getting way ahead of what you thought you could do.
I hope so. Let me hold on for 1 second, Chris, because I want to continue that. Chris is frozen on my screen, guys.
Not on mine.
I know. I'm in the tiny window. I see him. So I imagine what we're recording right now. We're not live today for this first one. I imagine they're just going to see a frozen Chris Newberg for right now. So let's see if we can get him back.
Here I am.
Still frozen.
What? He's good everywhere else.
You look great on the. I'm looking at a tiny little picture of you, and it looks great.
Well, as long as I look tiny.
Yeah. Oh, he started to move there, guys. Bring him back. There he is. Hey, Chris Newberg's moving again.
That's good. All right, so go ahead. What excuse were you making about not wanting to win?
I can't remember what we were saying. This is the other thing. My mind is, I've lost it.
No, you haven't. Stop it. You're so on point. It's like, how could you not be distracted by the fact that I was frozen? And we were talking about how this is the first step to you making a change, going towards the things that you actually want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, if you really believed for what, like, I understand, listen, I'm not a mental health professional. I don't understand what it takes for the things that you're discussing as far as how to get you from one place to another. But you are aware, regardless of whether your brain tells you or not, that you're remarkably talented. We've had conversations about it. You're good at your job. You make great questions. You prepare. You're good at this shit. It's something you really love to do. You just got into a rut and you got sick of living in Michigan. The winters got to you. The situation that you were fucking Mr. Burns in that castle. One guy alone in that gigantic fucking quad level house would drive anybody nuts. Your dog's great, but it's not like people great. It's just like, and and you had your good friendship get weird, and like you had a lot of shit go down.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
But you had the nuts to hit the reset button and go out. And it's like, this is the part in any autobiography that I wouldn't be able to stop reading. It'd be like, oh my God, so he was on this great show, and then he had his own podcast, and then that kind of got weird, and then he couldn't have variations, and then he decided one day to move out to Arizona, and then his fucking nephew fucking asked him for milk, and he almost lost his shit. And then he had vocal paralysis, and then he had to go back, and then maybe he couldn't talk but then what fucking did you do with it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And this isn't the end of your story, dude. You know that.
This is why I wanted to have you on. I admire the attitude that you have in situations like this. I've seen you depressed before, or I've talked with you coming out of it, and I always admire the way you deal with adversity. You look shame dead in the eyes, which is so fucking hard for people to do. It's so hard. People want to give the impression that their life is what you see on their Facebook posts. And the reality is that none of you are living your honest life. You take 3 selfies to get sure your hair's perfect and the sparkle in your eye is right on. But the reality is most people do not, under any circumstances, want to show you the reality of the ugliness, the sadness, the depression. They want to give the illusion. And I'm trying to break that wall down of like, yep, everything's perfect all the time. And you're just white knuckling it through everything like, yeah, no, everything's great. I'm doing a show today. We're good.
But no one thinks that.
What?
No one thinks that anymore.
Well,
no one thinks everything's perfect.
No. Of course, no one thinks everything's perfect, but they still post like they do.
Posting's totally different. That's a game. It's hilarious.
I know, but I'm getting to the point that you don't. And why I called you to do this show today, for me to talk about this stuff, because I don't want to talk about this shit every day.
Sure.
Was I admire, of all my friends, whether they're in entertainment or just normal fucking life people, you're one of the few that looks shame and failure right in the eyes and doesn't let it stop you. It doesn't kick you back 2 steps anymore. It seems like it fuels you. And I admire that. I admire your posts about the struggle, the reality that took 20 years to get my Screen Actors Guild card, to be part of the team, if you will, in that world. It's commendable. I sit there, and part of my frustration is I couldn't do it. I couldn't be Chris Newberg and keep plugging on and keep going through it. How does he do that? He's a stronger human being than me. I would have fucking quit 10 times over.
What's the alternative?
I don't know. Going to the highest peak in Arizona and jumping, I suppose.
But that's horrible. That's a horrible thought. And I mean, it's because it's just like, only because it's like, why would you waste that much gas in your car? You could you could walk. No, that's a terrible thought. And it's nothing that I'm joking of. But it's the same situation for you. And regardless of whether or not you realize what I've done, you're reacting in the same way. A person less mentally healthy, a person less strong would have stayed and went down with the ship on Clover Lawn. You know what I mean? It's like you would have done that. You'd have been like, I'm not going to fail. I'm too proud. But you were like, no, it's time to beat feet. It's time to get out.
Yeah.
And you did that. And it's like you have to be able to recognize the victories, no matter how small or how large, in your own life to build upon. I mean, you drove from Michigan to Arizona. That's impressive.
Yeah, that sucked too. Boy, oh boy, was that a rough drive. I don't know how you guys. Yeah.
It's crazy, but it's just like basically like there's that new term that the young people call traveling for a long period of time without any videos or external distractions. They call it raw dog traveling, and it's they're like, I'm just trying to get in my own mind and just trying to do whatever. But you went out there and you went from chaos to a different situation that's still shifting. And it's just like you made the effort to have your friends who are super incredibly supportive of you, who want to see you win, to help you. You have people sitting on a podcast waiting to see if everything is okay.
Yeah.
Sound-wise. That is love. That is respect. That is adoration. And that
is not lost on me, brother.
Good.
It's not.
So you need to be fucking nicer to yourself, dummy. Honestly, it's that simple. Like, you don't have to have unrealistic expectations, but you should sure as fuck have lofty goals. Yeah. You should sure as fuck want to do, again, it goes back to, what do you want to do? Since I've asked you that, you keep saying stuff that you can't do or that are going wrong.
No.
What do you want to do?
This is what I want to do. What I want to do is be free to do this. I don't need to make a shitload of money. I love doing this. I love talking to people. I love the thought of making people happy in some way, making them laugh, making them think about things. I love that. The scary part is I just left every connection I've had for the last 30 years in Michigan, right?
Yeah.
Like the idea of calling Vinny up from Sponge and saying, hey, come over and bring your guitar, or, getting Drew Lane to just pop over, or Fellhauer. It doesn't mean I can't do just this with you. Historically, I don't like doing this. You and I have talked about doing a show. I don't like doing Zoom shit, but it's forcing me into this position. I also like the idea of being out here and I swear to God, one of the things going through my mind was I need to be closer to my sister in San Francisco. I want to be able to drive up there and visit her and the kids. I also want to be 4.5 hours, 5 hours drive from LA. I want to go visit Chris and Michelle. I want to sit in Chris's living room and do a podcast with him in person. I want to be able to do that. And honestly be around sunny skies. I couldn't do the gray skies anymore. I couldn't do one more winter in Michigan, as much as I love the people there and miss them already more than I thought I would. That was the reality. I had to change something up. Had to.
I felt the same way when I moved out there, and listen, the devastation and tragic, horrible, empty thoughts that are on you and that are going to be there for a bit. Those are the realest fucking things in the world. I can't, like, when I moved here, I didn't know anyone. I didn't know one fucking person.
Hey, right now. Yeah, I get it.
I cried a lot. I didn't have family. I would have loved to have been able, someone said to me, you go get a gallon of milk. Oh my God, I have something to do.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything to do. I literally sat in my way too expensive apartment at the time. And I was just like, I'm going to win. And I had no idea. And then I got fucking evicted, because I didn't do anything other than sit around talking about what I was going to do.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. And you're just in such a great position. And it is lonely, but that's part of growth.
Yeah. Yeah. I think part of me needs, believe it or not, more than ever, I need football season.
That'll save you.
I know that sounds crazy, but I mean that in a way. Like, I always look forward to football season. I'm the biggest football fan I want my Niners to do well, and I'm so excited about my Lions. I'm so excited. As a lifelong Detroit Lions fan, I've never been more excited about this franchise, and I can't fucking wait. My brother and I, there's no one on earth I want to talk 49ers or Lions football with than my brother. And the thought of being in the same house, watching these games together, it excites me more than I can tell you.
And think of the DirecTV kickback from the lawsuit. That's going to be huge.
I don't know about you, dude, but I've been a member of DirecTV and of the Sunday Ticket since year one. Yeah. So whatever that lawsuit is, I'm eligible for the biggest payout of all.
I think every person gets like $1,900.
Is that what they're saying? I heard
I read 1,900.
I had heard possibly 3 to 5, but then it was like, that doesn't sound right. But I hadn't heard the 1,900 number.
Yeah, it's like $1,900, and it's not going to be in cash. It's going to be in credit to your whatever your current provider is.
Really?
So you're not going to get. That's what I heard. I don't fucking know.
Have you been signed up for that, or were you
DirecTV? Yeah, but
So did you get the Sunday Ticket all those years?
I did when I had DirecTV, but then DirecTV's cable in LA sucks, so I switched to Spectrum.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's
so. Are you getting the ticket now to watch the Lions?
On YouTube.
On YouTube, yeah, that's what I did last year, and I'll do again this year. It's
the best thing in the world to watch it from your living room. And I can't tell you. Everyone's sometimes come on, you want to go to a bar on Sunday? And I'm like, no,
last place on earth I want to go.
No, I've got beer in my fridge. I'll be fine. I can order pizza and not have to get bumped in by idiots.
How do you like, Chris, the 10 a.m. starts being on the West Coast?
It's the greatest.
Yeah.
It's so awesome.
Having what is awesome? Having football for the day over by 8:30, 9 o'clock at night.
Yes. It's the best.
Or getting up and you don't have to wait 3 hours, because I would get up and it's like, now I got to watch 3 hours of bullshit pregame until my it's like, no, 10 a.m.
It is on at 10.
Yeah.
Dude, NFL Today is on at 9.
Yeah.
It is the greatest. Oh,
You know,
basketball games. If you're a basketball fan, they're out at 4.
there was
So
a day.
great.
There was a day. I remember coming out to L.A. quite a bit, and my buddy Rob lived out. He lived off Melrose down in L.A. and I would come up, but we were in the early 20s, and so it was like go out and fucking rage till 2 a.m, come back to an apartment and keep going. And then it was like, now try to get up at 10 a.m. for a Lions kickoff. It was like, forget it. No. And that was like, oh, I can't do this. I can always get up by 1, but now I don't really drink. I haven't had a cocktail in forever, which I think is smart for me right now.
That is
Yeah. Yeah. But not that I wouldn't go out with you and Michelle and have a couple drinks. I
She
totally
doesn't drink.
would. Yeah. Is she done drinking?
She's sober. She doesn't.
Yeah.
Both of us
Even
quit
better.
weed. Both of us quit weed. I quit it
What?
like a year. Yeah, I don't touch it. I started forgetting shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, I'm
gotcha.
done, and I'll drink. And actually, she won't let me drink at the house anymore either. So
Really?
nope. I get because I was at a point where I was just like, I would wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I would work from like 5 to 10 a.m. I'd go on my old man walk. Then be 12. Then be 1. Then I'd take a shower. Then that's like 3. And it's 4. And I'm done with work. So I'd be like, time to start drinking.
Yeah.
And I did that for a minute. And then she was just like, whistle, shut it down. And so now I can still drink whenever, but I can't have alcohol in the house. It's
Really?
like,
Yeah.
I
Now
love
that
it.
you mention it, Michelle likes the taste of beer, which is weird to me. Like I was never one of those guys. I was always like, no, you drink to get hammered and that's it. It's not about how delicious this is or, no, it's about getting fucked up. That was always my attitude. Michelle came over last time you guys came over. She brought Heineken 0%.
Yeah,
And
she
she
fucking-
drank that. Like, I don't get that at all. First off, Heineken's the shittiest beer ever, that skunk ass beer.
I don't get it.
But she loves it.
Loves it. She also drinks non-alcoholic wine.
What? That's a thing? I didn't even know that was a thing.
I don't, I can't. God bless her. And
Yeah.
but
Well, good for her.
yeah, she looks great. She's happy. And,
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
all that matters. But wait, didn't you say you wanted to talk about, what was the other thing you wanted to talk about?
I
football.
wanted football is great.
No,
We can talk about
there
that.
was something else. What was the other
The
thing?
debate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. and I wanted, okay, I'll give you the option. We'll talk about the fallout from the debate. And we'll talk about you with, I've got Hollywood Squares, Screen Actors Guild membership, and young Chris Newberg's bachelor party.
Okay. Which one do you want to talk about?
I don't care where you want to start. You want to start with you, or do you want to start with the Biden Trump bullshit?
Well, I know that your fan base loves politics, so let's save that for the meat of it because I'm sure they'll hate what I have to say, which that makes me laugh anyway.
Okay,
so
that's fine.
We'll go laugh. Wait, some of them. Oh, haha! Aaron doesn't like politics.
That's fine. Look, we don't have to get into it. I just
No, I don't have a really political approach. I'd love to listen to what you're saying, and again, I think I have a very logical approach to it. We'll do it.
Go
in
ahead.
order.
Let's
Okay,
do it.
so you want to jump into the debate?
Sure.
It's super easy.
Okay, go ahead.
It's 2 grandparents fighting at a barbecue. One grandparent has much more faculty than the other one, so he just spouts bullshit. He just says whatever. He's like, "Price is right. I can make pancakes." Whatever.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Yeah, I can." And then you have another guy who's like, and then he's thinking, "I used to be able to make pancakes." And now you have the news, which is all fear-based, just go into town about how it's like Biden should give up. And George Clooney, who lives in Italy, says Biden should leave. You don't vote, dude.
Yeah.
You don't get an opinion. You don't live here.
Yeah, shut up. Go away.
He does have a house in California. I should shut up.
Oh, he's probably got a house in 10 different states and in multiple countries.
Yeah, and I'm sure he has voting privileges.
I mean, talk about, just being one of the guys, fitting in like the locals, like George Clooney, really, that's who we're going to for our politics. I mean, living in idiocracy, we've taken it to such a level. It's just comical. The only thing that bothers me, like the amount of gaslighting that has been going on in this country, as far as you're 100% right, fear-based news. the amount of gaslighting, like, what are you talking about? Biden's fucking awesome. He's running the country. He's great. It's not Trump. He's awesome. And for people like me watching it going, look, I don't care who your guy is. That's fine. But we know they're full of shit, right? That's what they do for a living. Politicians are mostly full of shit. I'm the best at this. I did this awesome. I'm the best. I'm a better golfer than everybody. I use the best words. Just dumb shit. Who cares? But Joe Biden has been a fucking train wreck for years. For years. When he got elected, it was covered up. He didn't really campaign, and he used COVID as cover for that. Sure. And for 4 years, 3.5 years, I've been talking about, a few people have been talking about, this guy is a fucking problem. And you were made to feel like you're insane if you don't think Joe Biden is absolutely sharpest he's ever been. That guy is amazing. How dare you? Orange man bad, and how dare you shame Biden, this upstanding. First off, Joe Biden has never been an upstanding good person. Fuck all that. That doesn't mean Trump is. But Joe Biden has been a bag of shit forever, since the 80s. So it is what it is. It took the debate, and now the debate, all of a sudden, everything that some of us have been saying for 4 years, you're all feeling comfortable to say now, and you want us to believe you didn't know this too? Right. You didn't know that this guy was absolutely under no condition fit for that seat. And now they're to the point, it is so bad that they're saying, Whoopi Goldberg the other day was saying, I would vote for Joe Biden in a coma, which proves the point that I was making 3.5 years ago, saying, I called him President Soup, because you would rather vote for a bowl of soup than Donald Trump. Nobody voted for Joe Biden. 0 human beings voted for Joe Biden. They either voted against Trump, or they voted for Trump. And so the bowl of soup analogy is coming true right now. And watching all these people attack him and want to shit can him, I don't know how this plays out, but if I was someone that voted in primaries, and I'll shut up, voted in primaries for Joe Biden, I'd be furious that these fucking people disenfranchised your vote like tens of millions of people's vote was disenfranchised. You knew he wasn't capable, and now that it's too late, he's got the delegates. You can't just remove him if he won't go. You can't. You have to buy him off. You have to golden parachute his ass out of here. It's insane. And I don't know why, all these people have absolutely lied to you for years. And you're just cool with that? You're cool that they lied to you for years about Russiagate or Hunter Biden's laptop? That is infuriating to someone like me, watching from afar, made to believe that you were crazy if you even questioned Joe Biden and his ability. I'll let you talk.
That was good. That was like one breath.
Yeah.
I just think that it comes down to, I think it's horrifying to imagine either one of these people representing our country. It's horrifying.
Yeah, sort of is.
If you think about, and I know that there's obviously a lot of people who do like Trump, and there's a lot of people who do like Biden. There's a lot of people who think everything Trump says is true. There's a lot of people who think that Biden has full capacity. There's a lot of people who think differently.
Are there people that think he has full capacity, really?
I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of people, like I have friends who yesterday said, no, I don't think he's the most has his shit together, but I feel confident about the people who are surrounding him in his cabinet. And I'm just saying this. This is what's entertaining to me. What's entertaining to me is that no one, even all the people who ruled against Trump, will not go any further because they're horrified of the repercussions of, like, if they jail him or sentence him, he will of course get revenge. He's a crazy person. He's like a revenge guy, and he'll totally do that.
Counterpuncher.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, I don't know. And Biden, it's just like, he reminds me of my grandma when she lost capacity. Like, she just, when I saw the clips of first off, I didn't even watch the debate. I didn't watch it.
Oh my God. It was comical, man. It was crazy. I actually, Chris, I felt bad for him. I did. And sure. I think Joe Biden,
leave him alone.
is one of the lowest of the low as far as scummy swamp creature, historic politicians.
Yeah,
That's what Joe Biden is.
He doesn't have a good track record. It's
No,
absolutely true.
it's horrible. So,
Sure.
but I actually felt bad for him. Like this, I know it's cliche, but it is elder abuse on some level. It's like, what are you doing? If that was your father, if that was your grandfather, you wouldn't allow it. Could you imagine your dad and dragging him up on that stage?
No.
I mean, with clear Parkinson's signs, the stiff shoulders, the gaffes, like, and trying to like play that off like that's not happening. And it's just sad. It's sad to see. I will say, my brother is wise in his years, and he's like, look, man, he fucking can't do Trump. Can't do it. He makes excuses for Biden. And I try to talk to him, and he knows his shit, and it's hard because I'm like, oh, you're being so gaslit on so much of this shit. You're being lied to about this and that. But he's like, he firmly believes, look, we've got 4 more years of this nonsense we have to get through, because 4 years from now, there can be no more Trump or Biden. And then
I agree with that.
Hopefully we can get back to some sort of stability where half the country doesn't hate the other half of the country and vice versa. And I agree with that. Wouldn't that be nice?
It would be.
Because I sort of feel like we're coming out of, like, the Me Too movement is kind of fucking dead. The woke, like, cancel everybody feels like it's kind of dying on the vine.
Everybody got canceled with the exception of Weinstein got a TV deal or a podcast or like a Netflix special.
Seriously? Like who?
For the most part, like...
I mean, Chris D'Elia didn't.
No, but that dude still sells out theaters, and he's working plenty. Look at his website. Yeah. He's booked constantly. He doesn't play LA. He doesn't play LA anymore, but he still has millions of followers. Yeah. Millions. And it's just like... and the same thing with Shane... What's his name?
Gillis?
Yeah.
He's fucking
huge.
Amazing. Huge.
He's huge. Yeah. And he was torn down, and everyone was ripping him apart. And it's
that was bullshit, though. That was kind of, dug into a podcast and took words that he said.
Sure, there's people. Yeah, people do that all the time. That's all social media assassination, and it's silly.
Right.
But I think that it depends, and it's the same ridiculousness with, like, here's who bugs me. I get bugged by, like, Seinfeld talking about how upset he is being bothered by the woke left. It's like, motherfucker, you're a billionaire.
Yeah.
You've been famous since you've been 22. You took someone's wife when they were on a honeymoon and you stole her. That's your wife. You've been accused of trying to hook up with young women all the fucking time and never got in trouble. You have hundreds of cars. You do whatever you fucking want to do. And you're bothered by the quote unquote woke left. Shut the fuck up. Like, he's the least relatable human on the planet.
Yeah, I agree with that to an extent. Do you think there's any part of him, and maybe not, that cares about up-and-comers that maybe hold back on some level because I know this is real with young comics that go, I can't go on stage and say what I really feel because if I get canceled, I'll never get another slot.
Bullshit. Comics say whatever they want now.
Do they? Because I remember talking to Eric about it, and Eric was like, if you went on stage around any of the clubs he was doing, any of them, and he said if you had a different opinion, he was saying, I would say it was fucking, because he's not a politics guy. He's not. And Eric, but
me neither.
Yeah, I know. But he's like, if someone dared go up there like, hey, pro-Trump or, some what would be viewed as a conservative take, they would be shamed right out of the club. Like, not welcome.
I don't think it's like that anymore. I think it's funny. If it's funny, it's funny.
I agree. I think Joe Rogan is proving that every night at the mothership.
But Joe Rogan Joe Rogan is insanely talented at communicating with people. He's a great podcaster.
Absolutely.
And maybe I get shot in the face for this by somebody who is super masculine. I've never found his comedy to be anything over the top or like.
No,
I'm not saying he's unfunny because he's very smart.
Great.
He's very smart.
He's great.
I listen to him all the time, but I've never heard a set of his and gone, that motherfucker just made me feel like Chappelle makes me feel. I've never thought that.
No. Is he dangerous? Is he crossing a line? No, not at all. But
he's really smart.
He's very smart. He's smarter than I even gave him credit for. I think he's a tremendous podcaster and interviewer.
Incredible.
In that he's curious. That's the whole key, is asking questions. He doesn't make it about himself. It's very, and when the conversation spins out, he's very good at bringing it back to its original point and going, "Hey, you were about to say something. I cut you off." Like that's someone that truly cares about what their guest is saying, and it's something Howard Stern's never been able to do. It's something Drew Lane did exceptionally well. Was very, very good at that. Very, very. I remember telling people for years, anytime you'd see Drew out, if he met someone, it was like he immediately interviewed him. It could be like, "What do you do?" And it's like, "Oh, I'm a garbage man." It's like, "Oh, okay. Well, what does that entail on the daily basis?" And like, next thing you know, he's an hour deep into a conversation with a garbage man at a party, and he's making this guy's life as entertaining as humanly possible. And it's like, yeah, that's the brilliance in it right there. Nobody else could do that or would care.
Yeah, and let me just, I want to fix something I said, not for fear, but just for clarification purposes. I don't think that Joe Rogan is unfunny. I think it's challenging for someone with several $100 million to be as funny as someone who does not have that much money, because there's not a lot of people who can relate to you.
Well, what I'm talking about when I made that comment about Joe Rogan proving that funny wins the day, and you know, there's the club in Portland that canceled Kurt Metzger and Theo Vaughn, I think, and a few others. Like, oh, they're not welcome in this town with their opinions, and they cancel them. Do you know the story I'm talking about? So that took place a few months ago, and Rogan opened the mothership, left LA, went to Austin, and they've opened the mothership, and it's apparently a comics club. It is run by comics. It is built for comics. I think I'm going to go there with Landau when he goes there at the end of August, first day of September or something, and check it out myself. But it's supposed to be unbelievable. And the only criteria is he doesn't give a fuck if you're black, you're white, you're trans, you're gay. Doesn't matter. Are you funny? If you're funny, welcome to the stage. If you're not funny, fuck off. Leave your politics at the door. Leave your wokeness at the door. No one's offended by anything. And it's sold out every night. Every day is sold out at the mothership. And I think that's
not true. But it's not true. It's so hard to get in that club. You can't just be funny. You have to have the booker is very challenging. He's very.
It's Egan, right?
Was it Eric Egan? Yeah,
Aaron Egan.
Eric.
No, it's the guy that used to book for Adam Egan. Yeah,
he likes the people that he likes. And if he doesn't like you, you have zero chance to get in there. Like zero chance. 100%.
Well, wasn't he at the store?
Same thing.
Same thing. But isn't that? But that's where you're at.
I'm not at the store. I can't play the store because when I first moved to LA, they told me that I needed to be there 7 days a week. I was like, I'm not being there 7 days a week. I have shit to do. Like, you know, and that was my mistake on my end. But it's just like the politics of comedy on that level are I'm far too old to deal with it. I go up where people put me up, and that's cool.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with that. But like,
and that's fine.
And a lot of those comics are great. And I'm not talking shit about any other comic. I'm just saying hunger comics are going to be much more relatable than a guy who's just like, I just flew to Ireland to call a UFC fight. Isn't this funny?
No, I understand what you're saying. And I do remember thinking this originally, like, oh, that's cute, because there's limited spots in one club, and those are going to go to the people that you want. It's not just like, hey, anybody that's a comic that's funny can get in here. Like, you knew that was going to be the case. Now, I thought I heard him saying that he's going to expand. He's talking about doing a theater, multiple clubs.
He can do whatever he wants, and maybe it is.
Yeah.
It's just like in Los Angeles right now, there's 1,000 comics, maybe more, but 1,000. Of that 1,000, there's probably 7 rooms total. Of those 7 rooms, I would say the same 40 comics are booked every night. So there's like 950 who occasionally get sprinkled in, but it's the same comics every night at the same places.
So why is that? Because they're trying to put on a show and sell the most popular people they can?
Because it's a tourist town. And when people come from out of town, they're like, oh my God, I want to go see Nikki Glazer. Oh my God, I want to see Bill Burr. I want to see, like, don't you want to see the really funny person you've never heard of and discover him? No. I want to see.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what it is. But there's nothing wrong with it.
That makes sense. It does. Like, I totally get that. When you see a lineup and it's like, oh my God, Nikki Glazer, Jerry Seinfeld, you know, Chris Rock, like, you know, that's if you had a bunch of, you know, Bill Mahalskis on the list that no one's ever heard of, like that doesn't, you know, I mean, some people will still go, but it's not going to be a packed night. You know?
Like I'm doing a show tomorrow at Comedy Magic. I'm sure Arsenio will be on the bill. Leno will probably be on the bill. Who else? Who are the TV guys who are always down there? Like Carol Leifer, like great comedy writers. Wendy Liebman will probably be down there. Like fucking monsters. And it'll just be like, and then like a handful of people you've never heard of, and then like a handful of people like me that you've kind of heard of, and just like all these super famous people. And every single one of them will be a machine gunner. They'll be just like joke.
Yeah. Are they good? Like, is Arsenio still good?
He's great.
That didn't sound.
He's great.
Yeah.
I have zero shit to talk about anybody. I'm just saying from my perspective as a 54-year-old dude, you know, I think Rogan is exceptional. I listen to him constantly. Whenever I think he's great. As a comic, he doesn't do it for me. But that's just because he's unrelatable. And
I get it.
There's so many things with so many different other comics. It's like I want to hear pain and suffering. I want to hear somebody talk about
who do you look at right now in the industry that people would know that you go, yeah, that guy's fire. I
think Landau's great. I think Chris Porter's always been amazing. There's so many, dude.
Does he do a lot of stoner humor?
I don't think so, not anymore. He's doing more music stuff. He's he's doing great. I mean, anybody who's doing it and he can consistently make work or make money from it, that's what it's all about.
I think Gillis is on another level right now.
Yeah, he's doing great.
Like, great. I mean, do you see him and go, yeah, that whatever it is, that dude's got it?
No, or no? But it doesn't matter because it's subjective. It's just like I can see that he's successful. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me re-answer. I can see that he's successful. I can see why he's successful. His impressions are fantastic.
I couldn't give a shit less about the impressions.
He's likable as fuck.
Yeah.
He's very likable. But comedy-wise, I watched that show, that Tire show. I was like,
yeah.
It was like,
I thought it was all right. Yeah, it's good enough.
It looked like they spent $10 filming it.
Yeah, agreed.
But whatever. I mean, it's like everybody thinks like there are people who think I'm the funniest person ever. There are people who think I'm horrible, and they're both right.
Yeah. No, I get that, but there's you would admit like Bill Burr, for instance, like
incredible,
owned the comedy world for 10 years.
Incredible.
Before that, you had Chris Rock, owned the comedy world for 10 years.
Yep.
And you had Chappelle, who has owned the comedy world for 20 plus years. Yep. They're on a different level. So that's what I mean. Like, what we can all agree, like it's subjective to a point, but we all agree Bill Burr's a murderer. Chris Rock is a killer. You know what I mean? Like I look at up and comers, and Shane Gillis, I would throw in there and go, that dude's going to be a problem for a long time. He's that good.
I hope so.
You know, I think so. You know, I could be wrong, but I look at someone like that. I look at someone like Landau and I go, that dude's going to fucking go. He's going to do something special.
But Landau,
I really do.
He has hunger. He has desire.
Yeah.
You know, he has the momentum of a person who hasn't quite really fucking taken off yet. He's so close.
So close.
Which is why he's hungry. That's exciting to me. Someone who's already there who I'm not a fan of.
What's that?
Somebody who's already at a bigger level that I just don't like. It's never personal. It's not. It's just like you laugh at what you laugh at.
Yeah. Well, I think for Landau, who we all root for as Detroit boys, as you know, we've known Dave for many years. Headlining the Mothership for multiple nights, featuring it is huge. So big. It's why I want to be there. Just like I'd want to be there if you were doing that. I'd want to be there. I can
save you the trip. They'll never book me. As long as Adam is there, they will never book me.
Yeah. Well, you've got some really special things going on in your world, man. Hollywood Squares, tell me about it.
I'm the joke guy in Hollywood Squares. It hasn't started yet, so I've just been questioned. Oh man, did I just fuck my eye?
You're all right. You look great, by the way.
I'm the joke guy. So I have a really great job. I go room to room with each contestant, celebrity before, and I give them jokes before they go on the show. It's like a dream gig. I'm very excited about it. It is the gig that finally got me my Writers Guild card. I'm so excited to be part of the guild. I'm excited because then I get residuals finally.
What does that mean in real terms?
I've never
What does that equal for you?
I mean, okay, if once there's an original airing of a program, like there's 20 episodes for the first season. So once all of those air, nothing happens for that. That's not a residual. But if they go to a streamer, then I'll get paid a percentage every time it's watched by somebody. And if they re-air it on network, I'll get a really big check. So it could be some really decent money.
What does really big check mean? So if the game show network starts doing reruns of it, would that be something?
It just starts Guild on Hollywood Squares. All I can tell you is I have a friend who works on Weakest Link, who when I was like, what is residuals? What does mailbox money mean? And he's like, well, last year I made $230,000 just in residuals on Weakest Link. And I was like, what the fuck?
Huh.
So wow. I don't know if it's that. I mean, I don't even know how many. I don't know if they're going to cancel the show mid-season. Who knows?
Oh my God, dude! Can you imagine if you got $50,000 a year residuals on that? That'd be fucking amazing.
I'd be happy with $5,000.
Right.
$5. That's all I need. But
no, I remember in music people talking about that. Like if you talk to Steve Poltz, for instance, a friend of mine who wrote one of Jewel's biggest hits, or a couple of her big hits.
Yeah.
Dude, back in the day, that a number one, a top 5 single could pay you in the $750,000 a year mailbox money. Like ridiculous.
Yeah.
For airplay that it gets. So there's a lot of money, but I never really understood TV residuals, what it means to have a point on something and what that means on the back end, and I don't know how it's changed with the streaming world. I know you guys fight about it every time there's a,
I mean, I wasn't part of the fight before, but now I will be. So now I'll be concerned. But wait, so can I say one final thing before? Because I have to open the window. It's so fucking hot in here.
Sure.
You're great at this. The passion level that you had when you were yelling at me about Trump and yelling about whatever is exciting.
Yeah.
I don't have the excitement about anything like that in my life. I mean, I'm
Thank you,
more
buddy.
Understated. Get back to yourself. Find your way back, dude.
Yeah. I will. I will. It's going to take a little time. I'm really excited because I've got a dedicated studio in an area here that is. We need to sell a house first, to be honest with you. But I can't wait to have you here.
It's gonna be fun.
To have you here, and honestly, I did want to tell people. I felt it was really important to come on and do this show today because I've been gone for a couple weeks, and I know there's people in the members area, and you guys mean the world to me, and I don't want to continue to let you guys down. I will be adding stuff in there. I am heading to California tomorrow morning. That's why I really wanted to do this show today. I handpicked Chris Newberg of every person I know on earth. I handpicked you today to be here because I thought you would deliver exactly what you did. For people. So thank you, Chris, for doing that. And I'm going to California to have a little, it's going to be like 6 days. So most of it'll be weekend. So I'll be back mid to late next week and I'll jump right on and hopefully hit the ground running from there. But don't freak out if you don't hear me Monday, Tuesday next week, Wednesday, maybe even. Marshall and I are going and I'm taking Cece. If I wasn't bringing little Marshy with me, I can't wait to make that trip and hit LA and hang out with you and Michelle for a day, Chris.
It's going to be awesome.
Do a podcast. I can't, being 5 hours away, 4 hours away is awesome to me. And I want to do your show more often. I want to have you on here with me.
That'd be great.
And that's very exciting to me. I'm really sorry. And I also wanted to thank you personally for inviting me to your bachelor party. I was absolutely in the weeds here. It's why I wasn't able to go to Vegas. But I wanted you to know, Chris, I don't get invited to a lot of things, and it's my own fault for kind of taking myself out of everything and everywhere. And the guys behind the scenes, Travis, Aaron, those guys will be like, you fucker, we've invited you over 100 times and you never show up. Mm-hmm. So that has led to people going, yeah, he's not coming. We're not inviting him. And the fact that you invited me to your big day, it sucks that I wasn't able to be there. I wish I was. Please tell me a little bit about it.
Oh, you're killing me. I'm sweating.
Sorry. Go open the window and then we'll hang up.
No, they've got weed people outside. It was fun. It was very chill. It was just like.
So it wasn't like if you were in your 20s, get hammered and.
No.
Okay.
A lot of video poker, a lot of food, a lot of going to bed at 10. Yeah, it was
Oh,
like it
man,
was
I love
super
it.
chill. It was very last minute, and it was just like me and a couple of family members, and it was super chill, and
Yeah.
it was great. Everything was cool. And also, you can tell people if they want, they can listen to my podcast.
Hey,
It's on every Wednesday, and it's on, and we're good now.
can I tell you? Can
Yeah.
I tell you something about your podcast?
Sure.
I fucking love. Is it Hannah?
She's great.
She is adorable.
She is.
She is flat adorable, dude. I've watched a few episodes and I'm like, obviously I like you.
Sure.
But you know,
She's getting her-
you shuffle up guests. I love Amy.
Mm-hmm.
Amy's great.
Yeah.
But Hannah is fucking awesome, dude.
She's great.
She's great. Yeah, she is.
She's good.
Anything else you want to say?
No, I love you, brother. I'm very glad
I love
you
you
chose
too,
me
man.
to talk to you. Keep it up. Keep going. And look at what they just did.
Yeah. Check
I don't
out
know how to
Newberg on Apple Podcast and Spotify.
Yeah, or on YouTube. I don't even know how they do that. That's awesome. I got to call Trav and give him a hard time for still having not read.
It's
Dawn of the Living Seagull.
It's the captions off on the right. If you click captions,
Mm-hmm.
then you can type in whatever you want. Yeah, and you could have it scroll and then you change it. Yeah. If he was smart, he would have played ones that said like, My Pillow, use promo code TDC and go to the Amazon link.
Are they still a business?
Yeah, hell yeah. They pay me. They're awesome.
Oh,
they're awesome.
Them.
Yeah.
All right, good.
All right, Chris. Thank you so much, buddy. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Like I said, I'm headed to California tomorrow. I will be gone for a few days and then back next week. Go beat it, dude. I don't even need you here to wrap this up.
I was just laughing at the sheets.
See?
All right, I'm out. See you, brother.
Okay. Love you, brother. Hey, thanks, everybody, for hanging with us. You can stay there for 1 second. All right, there we go. Thank you, everybody. I hope, hearing us cleared a few things up. Why don't I bring these clowns in? There they are. There's no one important in AA, Ron. Hi, guys.